We might be live.
We might be live.
Let's see.
Are
we live?
We could be live.
We're opening some Digimon cards, and it's a release day. If you didn't know, it is the actual release day. And yeah, I know not everyone's actually able to find cards right now, but the supply is coming. We are told by Bandai that supply is coming. That is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So, opening a box of Digimon cards to celebrate the official release of the game, that sounds like a fun thing to do. And you'll see Chris has left on the mat there just, we did an issue of Tabletop Gaming and we put Gallantmon on the cover. And they had a whole cover story about Digimon. They also gave it a pretty good review, although didn't give it a must-play award, so leaving that one hanging out there. Also, I've heard rumours that next issue is going to have some Digimon cards in the magazine. It's going to have 6 foil cards, which I suspect is going to be the first promo pack.
Oh, you've got a question. Hi, Rossmo. Local game store doesn't have their stock just yet.
Yeah, and I mean, playing with the Japanese cards is not ideal, obviously, unless you're fluent in Japanese and your opponent is, in which case jobs are good. And I know the supply isn't really getting out there, and people want to throw around all these conspiracy theories, but it really is as simple as both production and distribution are being made extremely difficult because of the pandemic, which means that, and we've seen this in Pokemon as well. And over in the Pokemon groups, everyone's going, Pokemon aren't able to manufacture the cards. They're really botching it. And over here, people are like, Bandai aren't manufacturing the cards. They're really botching it. And actually, the reality of the situation is we're in a pandemic and supply and distribution is rubbish right now. And it's nobody's fault. It's just one of those things. But Bandai have come out and they've given official announcements. More cards are coming. There are going to be more... the supply is going to increase. They're printing more. And that's an obvious thing, right? This is set 1. This is the base set. This is a set that hooks everybody. So if ever there was a set that was going to be overprinted, it's going to be this one. Look at any card game. Keyforge, Final Fantasy, Transformers. You'll always find that the first set is always the easiest one to find and always the one that goes on sale fastest. Because they overprint it, because they would rather risk overprinting it than risk losing sales, because set 1 is how you hook everybody in. Whereas time you get to set 8 or whatever, you might end up having a slightly lower stock because, we lose a few sales, but long-term fans will stay with the game anyway. So they were always going to print as much as they possibly could. It just sucks that it's taken this long to do it. I can see Gloomhaven, and it's just mocking me because I've never actually played it. And I feel like I'm the right level of nerdy to play it, but it seems like one of those where it's really expensive, and there's a lot of rules, and it's going to take a long... Like, the buy-in is literally and figuratively quite high. Says the guy
right.
TCGs.
We're going to use all of the wrong cameras. You're getting a bit of a extra studio look here because for some reason some of my cameras have decided just not to turn up into any of the systems that require them to turn up. So I think then we can start.
We can start.
Am I here?
You look good. We can see you.
Oh, thank you. That's why I come here for the compliments, actually.
Also, and your board game collection looks way more impressive with this shot.
Yeah, but you can also see like the absolute mess of things that are coming in and out for review and things. It's absolute chaos. Absolute chaos. Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining me, and for those of you, especially Wossy, for doing the best possible stall we could have possibly done. So yeah, I'm Chris. I'm the editor of this magazine in front of us here, which is a game magazine not only about Digimon, the card game, but also about other board games and RPGs and other things like that. There's loads of stuff in here, Anyway, so we did this lovely cover for Digimon a little while ago. In the issue that's out right now, we have a review of Digimon the card game, which as Wossy points out, I did not give a must play, but I gave a strong recommend. And it's all down to Wossy anyway that I'm indeed playing this at all. Because if you go back to our podcast, Wossy gave us the heads up on a few games to check out, card games to check out that aren't Pokemon. Because we all know Pokemon, and it's also Wossy's main vice. And so I began the search for Digimon cards, and here we are. We've come to the point where we've done the cover. I've got a huge box of them in front of me to open, and I'm going to read out the names of them as we open them because we're on a slight delay.
The delay's not actually too bad on the computer. The iPad is letting me rate down, but on the computer we're not too bad. So we'll survive.
Excellent. So I've just popped that open there, little booster box opening there. Lovely. Right. So we had a little peek earlier, didn't we? And
we did.
We saw that we've got Kari Kanea, I believe. I think that's right.
Yeah, why not?
That's how you say it. Yeah. And she's a trainer. And you said you got this one in your boxes as well. Is that right?
Well, there's 10. So there's 10 full art tamers. You get one random one in each box. I don't have Carrie yet, but I have actually got 4 different ones, which makes me very, very happy. But it's just kind of cool. It's like it's a completely extra thing that Bandai didn't need to do, but they're just like, buy a box, get a full art tamer. Why not? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, do it.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it in its packaging. Right, okay, and then the next most exciting thing is the booster set here.
Well, these were weird ones, right? Because over in Japan, they have like actual magazines that have like promo cards and all on. We have Tabletop Gaming, which is awesome. We have nothing else. In Japan, they got loads of stuff. So they had these like 3 pairs of magazine promos, and people were like, how are we going to get them? So Digimon just literally chucked the pairs in these, and you get one of those 3 random pairs in every box, which is quite cool.
That's great, yeah. And you did sort of trailer that we are going to be... there might be some Digimon cards on the front cover of the next magazine. And what I'm told is, what I understand anyway, is there'll be 6 cards. Because we're just waiting for things to arrive, you see. So I'm watching my terrible opening of packs here. There's probably a very good technique for doing this.
That's my guess.
Right, I've got my... Ooh, it's quite nice. So I've got Tai Kamea, which is a V trainer. And he's slightly shiny.
These ones are very, very cool. These are they've got a different finish to the regular cards. These are just the magazine promos. They've got a weird kind of sheeny, hollowy finish. These were I actually saw quite a bit of play the pair of these initially over in Japan in some Old Force Digimon decks, but they've kind of fallen out of favor a little bit. That deck's kind of fallen off. And we don't even have Old Force Digimon yet. So it's that weird thing where it's like, we've got these cards before the card they're good with, but by the time we get the card they're good with, it won't be good anymore. So it's completely passed us by.
According to the meta.
They're very cool cards, though.
Yeah, that's great. So we're going to have to talk about this later, but we're going to talk about deck archetypes and what how we're going to build a deck with this afterwards, because at some point, me and you're going to have a game, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
So we need to talk about what kind of art, because I'll show you. This is of the ones I was sent over, this is the starter deck. This is like one of the main things I used to review the game. This is the blue starter deck, which was okay, but I feel like it is very much a starter deck. You know, I'm sure I'm certain there's some crazy stuff that we can do with these. These cards. Yeah. So, what archetypes are popular at the moment?
Omnimon. Like in the Booster 1.0 meta with just this, the 2 best decks are Blue Omnimon and Red Omnimon. But either way, it's an Omnimon world and we're all just living in it. It's going to change in the future, but the meta we're in at the moment, it is all about Omnimon.
Excellent. So I've got a Ogremon.
That one's all right. Doesn't see a huge amount of play, but doesn't get destroyed by security cards, which is nice.
Nice. And it's green, which I haven't played with the green deck yet. So we're going to have to talk about deck colours as well at some
Green's
point.
my jam. Love me some green.
Yeah. What's the flavour of green, if you don't mind me asking?
Green is generally about fast evolution. So it's got a bit more search than your average color, and it's got some cheaper evolution costs, and you just get rolling a little bit faster. So that Kabuterimon there, it's a 1 cost to evolve, which is cheap for a level 4, which is very cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Cool.
green's generally kind of speed and also resting. There's like a million cards that will rest your opponent's Digimon in green. So it's speed and resting. So you got Agumon there as one of your rares.
Yeah, that's a nice foil.
Yeah, all the rares, they've got the little kind of gold foiling around, which is
Yeah, I
really
like
cool.
that. I do like that. Yeah.
And Uppermon is your other. Uppermon is good. Uppermon is one of the best Digi-Eggs in the game.
Okay, go on then.
It's draw. And it's a game with very little draw. So having a Digi-Egg that actually lets you draw cards is brilliant. And yeah, Uppermon it's definitely one of the best level 2s out there. It's really, really good.
Yeah. No, that looks pretty good. So that could definitely go into that. So if I start taking apart that blue deck I've already got, I could obviously slip that in there somehow.
Oh, it's the best blue Digi-Egg out there, definitely.
For those who don't know, which I guess is maybe one or two people, should we explain how the game works?
So the game basically, it's my favorite thing about the game, right? Is you pick a color and you can do multicolor, but it's not generally. You've got to be really careful doing multicolor because you can evolve any blue level 2 into any blue level 3 into any blue level 4. And the best thing about the game is every time you Digivolve, you draw a card. So the game, you don't have to Digivolve. Every single card can, well, with one exception that we don't have yet, can be played either just paying lots of money to hardcast it or Digivolving it up considerably cheaper. But if you Digivolve up, you also get to draw a card. So there's lots of kind of, you don't have to Digivolve, but you really should. And then it's a standard kind of thing of knocking off 5 security cards and then attacking the player to win, which we've seen in other card games. But, and the memory cost probably is the best thing about it. There is a shared memory gauge that goes to 10 on either side. So like that Agumon Expert, you can play it for free memory or Digivolve it for 0. And you can do whatever you want on your turn. You can play whatever cards you want with no restrictions. But as soon as the memory gauge goes past 0, it's your opponent's turn. So if you've got, say, 1 memory remaining and you play that card, it goes over to 2 memory on your opponent's side. Or you can play a 10 cost card, but it goes to 8 memory on your opponent's side. So it's really interesting in that you can play, that /Angemon, you can just hardcast that as an 11 cost, but it's going to give your opponent a whole bunch of memory to play with on their turn, which gives them more options.
Yeah. That's one of the things I like about it, actually, is the fact that you can't, you can make bad plays, but there's no limit to the bad plays that you can make. You can, you can't really run out of things you can do on your turn. You could, your first turn, you can immediately whap down a 8 cost card, and I think that's cool. I think that's good. It's just there's no, and it's just it's about how much you're going to get punished, and not about your perfect mana curve or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, hopefully we'll get Puppetmon at one point. Puppetmon's only a rare. You should get a Puppetmon in your box somewhere. Yeah, and I love hardcasting Puppetmon. It's hilarious. But we'll get there in a minute. Also got Patamon and Yarmon as your rares. They're both all right. Not stunning. They're all right. They'll do.
Okay. So what's the purple archetype then?
Purple archetype is weird. Purple is basically you mill yourself and then you play cards for free from the trash. So you discard all of your cards. And there's other things they do. Purple's kind of tricksy and combo-y. But one of the things, and there's a lot of deletion skills. So they have a lot of Digimon that you want to get deleted so that you can actually gain an advantage by doing so, which is kind of weird and hilarious. Oh, you've got a shiny one there, Chris.
Oh, where's that?
Lilymon's good. I like Lilymon.
Okay. Well, should we do Lilymon first?
Lilymon's just got a really nice inheritable skill. Like I said about green, it rests your opponent's Digimon. Now, the inheritable skills only work when you evolve from them. So Lilymon doesn't have the skill, but a level 6 that evolves from Lilymon will. And then every time you attack, you get to rest one of your opponent's Digimon, which is important because you can only attack resting Digimon. So you basically rest them so that you can then attack them when you really shouldn't be able to normally.
That's it. Yes. Yeah, because there's actually... in the starter decks, there's not that many blocker cards or cards where you're giving each other the opportunity to to actually attack each other's Digimon. I thought it was quite sparing in that regard.
Yeah, it's quite a rare thing. Outside of green, it's quite rare to attack active Digimon. But one of the real hooks of green is you can suspend your opponent's Digimon so that you are then allowed to attack them. Yeah, and then you got Machine Dramon. Like genuinely, like half of all the black cards have blocker. Black loves blocking. They are all about blocking. But you've also got D-Digivolve 2 there, which, as it might suggest, you literally... you just discard the top 2 stages. So you take a level 6 and you discard the level 6 and the 5 and you leave them as a level 4. Machine Dramon, I've seen a bunch of rogue Machine Dramon decks in the Booster 1.0 meta. It's not ruling the game, but it's a really cool card.
Yeah, I think that's just cool looking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a separate pile over here for cards that I think are going to form part of my some sort of archetype, whatever it's going to be. So I guess that looks like I'm doing a black deck already.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also, one of the things that's great about the game, it is all new commissioned artwork. So, like, every card has got brand new commissioned artwork, whereas a lot of card games where the companies aren't taking it as seriously, they'll reuse a bit of art for the first couple of sets and then go into commissioning. But Bandai, straight off the bat with Digimon, were like, brand new artwork for everyone. And you can see from the cards, like, it is just... They have got on a bunch of phenomenal artists, and the artwork across the game as a whole is brilliant.
Yeah, the old art's very good as well. I'm a big fan of that. Right, so we've got a Metal Tyrannomon.
Metal Tyrannomon's quite nice. He evolves into Rust Tyrannomon, which is an amazing card that it's not proven to be quite good enough, but I love it. And Rust Tyrannomon can attack active Digimon whenever it likes, which I adore. And Izzy Azumi, it's a wrong green tamer. Mimi Tachikawa, that's your green tamer. I love Mimi. Mimi basically cheats. She gives you a second breeding phase.
Oh, right. Okay. So that's... well, you can just... as in you can evolve again? Or you add another... You can flip another card?
So generally speaking, so the breeding phase, you either hatch an egg or you bring an evolved egg out so that you hatch and evolve last turn. But because Mimi, if you've got a level 5 green on the field, lets you have a second one, you can in one turn hatch an egg, evolve it, and then use Mimi to bring it out. And there's a really cool ruling that if you do that, you are allowed to attack with that Digimon this turn, even though the rule generally is that when you play a Digimon, that really up till has proven to be just phenomenal.
Yeah, that sounds great. But again, green, right?
Yeah. Green is not like green will be. They literally today, in fact, just a couple hours ago, they gave their very first ever restricted list, and it was 2 green cards because they deliberately made green fast. And basically, they said in the announcement, "We made green too fast." So they've gone and restricted a couple of cards. But in Booster 1.0, green is still very much a bit of a rogue thing, but I love it. It's fun.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm gonna have to build a green deck. Actually, that sounds good. So is this a full art?
No, Venomyotismon is a weird one. It is a rare. See, that's a common card, but it looks because of the artwork. It actually looks kind of like amazing. A super rare. It's also a really good card.
Cool. I've got a Venomyotismon. That one.
Venomyotismon. It's all right. You get to attack an extra security, so it takes up 2 security potentially rather than 1. It's not one of the better purple level 6s. It's cool, but there's things like Beezlemon and Lilithmon which people generally prefer building around.
Well, so one thing we haven't talked about is the actual attack power. You know, is there a particular archetype or color that has like really good value attack power, or it's DP, isn't it? That's digital power, I suppose it is.
I mean, it's red. It's always red. Red is aggro. I mean, you write that one yourself, but it is, red have got lots of options for just building up power. And I think, so there's Cerberusmon, and I think behind it we've got...
Ooh.
Wait, is that
Greymon?
Is that the black or the red one?
That is the black one.
Okay, I spoke about that card so much before it came out, and I've now opened 3 boxes and not pulled one, and you're just like casually pull it. I'm mad at you now, Chris, but I love Wargamon. It's got a great combo of reboot and blocker. So reboot makes you active on your opponent's turn as well as your own, So essentially, you attack on your turn and then ready yourself, and then you block on your opponent's turn and then ready yourself. So usually, if you block, you're then not active for your turn. Whereas here, you basically get to block, ready, and you attack every one of your turns and block every one of your opponents. It's a really fun combo.
So this guy's got to go my new black deck we're building over here.
I mean, you've pulled 2 super rares and both of them are black. So as it stands at the
Yeah.
moment, you are being pushed in that direction.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what we're going for. Lovely. Cool. Right. Let's whip through these. Oh, that looks cool. The art is really quite something in all of these. I can't remember if the old art goes into the normal packs or not.
So it's a bit weird. In every box, you will get 7 super rares and 2 either secret rares or alternate arts. So your Garudamon that's your 3rd secret rare you've hit now. Super rare, sorry.
Yeah.
So you will, in every box, you will get exactly 7 super rares and 2 alternate arts or secret rares.
Yeah.
But 5 of the alternate arts were taken. So all the Tamer alternate arts were box toppers, but they were in Japan. That was always the way. But 5 of the alternate arts, so Agumon, Gabumon, Seadramon, Machinedramon, and Puppetmon, they were all taken out of the set and put into dash packs, which you get for buying 12 boosters at your local game store.
Right. Okay. It's a complicated world, isn't it?
It is a little bit. But like, if you buy a box of Digimon, if you buy it from the right place, you literally get 2 dash packs, which each have an alternate art card in, and you get your full art Tamer, and you get your pair of what were magazine promos in Japan, and that's all just extra from what you would actually get in the box normally.
Yeah. No, it's pretty good. And they're supporting it really hard, aren't they, Bandai?
Bandai are doing a really good job. It makes me sad when people, they get a lot of grief because of the circumstances under which they're launching. But there's just like, people are like, how are we going to get the magazine promos? And they're like, box toppers. And people are like, how are we going to get the box toppers? And they're like, box toppers. And it's just, they really do seem to be trying really hard to make the game a success, which is really cool.
Might stick that in there.
Yeah, so Andromon's a blocker, black. There's like all the black Digimon have blockers. They love blocking.
Cool.
It's their thing. It's what they like doing.
Here we go. It is really just the last 2, isn't it? There's absolutely no random in this. I've got this guy already.
Ikakumon and Matashida. So you got some.
Yeah.
Actually, the one thing I will criticize them for, the blue and the purple, for a colorblind chap like myself, I want something better.
Yeah. It's not that distinguishable.
When new cards are revealed, I'm often like messaging my wife a picture of the card, being like, I'm trying to make a video. Is this blue or purple?
That's it. Cool. Let's crack on.
I love Vegemon. Seriously, cheap evolution. It is. Because then you're not paying much memory to Digivolve, but you're still drawing a card when you Digivolve. That's why I love green so much. Cheap evolution, and you're drawing cards every time you do. Although, like I say, the restricted list today does prove they went, I think, further than they meant to.
Yeah. But that's the fun of like joining. We talked about this ages ago, but that's the fun of joining a card game at the start. Just getting in there early because you get to play with it while it's broken before everyone comes in and ruins your fun.
Yeah. And it's so much easier to keep up with. TCGs are hard, man.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's your regular carry. Goes with your box stopper.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so we can compare them, can't we? These guys.
The alternate art box toppers, they are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. That's much nicer. I ain't gonna leave that wrapped up still. And Yokomon.
Yokomon's all right.
Yeah.
Seems a bit of play here or there. The thing is, because like one of the really cool little things they did, they let you have 5 Digi-Eggs but you can only play 4 of each number card. So it kind of forces you to play a random one of Digi-Egg. So you'll play 4 of the one you want, and then a 5th one, just so you've got a 5th one there. Because if games go on a bit longer.
So when I did the interview, we were talking about the idea of there being those multicolored decks. And do you think it's not really supported yet, is it, as a way to play the game? Well,
The
this guy
new
looks cool.
set, the new set in Japan, BT5, Battle of Omega, they're bringing in a few more that can digivolve. So there's some Digimon that can digivolve from two different colors, but no.
Yeah, okay.
Evolution is so powerful for drawing cards, etc., and obviously just getting up there that you really do. Like, the worst thing is if you've got a green level 4 on the field, but all the level 5s in your hand are yellow, it's just, it feels bad. Multicolored decks, they work, but it tends to be really specific. I'm playing a few extra little ones that I don't need to digivolve, or things along those lines. You don't get many true multicolored decks because they're just inherently inconsistent. Yeah, Wanyamon's adorable.
Yeah, I was going to say that's really cute. That's all I'm going to say about that. I was just going to come back to say, for those who don't know, these are basically I actually can't remember the proper name for them, but these are
Options.
the
Options.
the option cards. Yeah, basically spell cards, right?
Yeah.
Right. So this is we have a seconding on adorable. There we go.
Options and tamers don't see a huge amount of play. You'll see a lot of successful decks winning little tournaments in Japan and here, but almost don't play tamers and options. Like Digimon, really up till now, it's been Digimon that have been good. And you'll see decks with tamers and options, but it's not some even split like you might imagine. There are a lot of decks that don't play tamers and a lot that don't play options.
That's interesting. I guess that'll level out over time, I suppose.
I think they print.
I think this black tie, he deserves to go in, surely.
I think quite possibly deserves to go in.
Yeah. What does he do again? Let's have a look. He's got security on him.
All the tamers have the same security, which is just play them without paying. But he gives you extra memory at the start of your turn. I mean, there's a load of them out there. Me does it as well as Tai, which basically guarantee you start your turn with free memory. So if your opponent tries to leave you with 1, it will up you to 3. But then again, that will change the way your opponent's playing, because if they know you're going to start on free memory anyway, they'll just play to leave you on free memory rather than 1. Oh, there's another shiny one.
Yeah, I know. I was sort of teased that pitch there. Do we know what it is from that? Can you tell what it is from there?
Yes, I can. It's Ultimate Archetype. I think you're underestimating how into this game I am, Chris.
I'm just trying to demonstrate for the viewers at home. Excellent. Okay.
Keramon. If I'm wrong, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be. Oh, that is lovely. Look at that. Look at that Python. Wow.
So all of those I want to say they're BT2 alternate arts, and they literally they follow the same kind of style. So they're like, if you put them all together, they're very stylistically similar, which they don't always do that much with Digimon. But they've even gone and made like a playmat with all of those style of alternate arts on them, which is very, very cool. So there's one of your 2 alternate or secrets.
Excellent. That looks great.
It is a beautiful card.
Maybe I need to make a purple. And this is purple, right?
Yes.
I think it's purple. Yeah, maybe I need to make a purple deck. That's cool. Excellent. And this is Keramon, which is another, I guess, it's going to be another blocker, is it?
Keramon, no, there's Diaboromon, so one of only 2 white Digimon in the set. Diaboromon's kind of off on his own, and Keramon is one of those that is very much for Diaboromon. So Diaboromon's hook is when you attack, you play a Diaboromon token, like a little extra version of himself. So Keramon's got an inheritable skill that when you play a Digimon with the same name as it, you draw a card, i.e. you Digivolve from Keramon up to Diaboromon, then when you attack, you summon a token. Oh, I've summoned a token with the same name, now I get to draw a card as well.
Excellent.
So it's very much a Diaboromon and only a Diaboromon card.
Yeah, so there's limited synergy really, right?
Yeah, it really, like, you can play it in other decks, but you're never going to.
I'm just going to leave this guy. I'm going to leave these guys here on stream because I think they look good. Wow, I'll stick this guy in the deck. I'll think about that. Cool. If there's any questions in the chat at all, do feel free to throw them in, and we will try and read them out as we go. And Wossy will have all the answers, and I will have none of them, which is the way this has been set up.
You don't want to know how much time I've put into this game.
That's it. I'm I'm looking forward to us actually playing again because we played a bit of Keyforge, didn't we, for our last live show?
It was fun.
And it was great. Yeah. And we both got really quite dodgy decks, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to doing a game where I'm constructing the deck that I'm going to play you with, and I think that'll be pretty good fun. Before we move on to the shinies, Kurisarimon.
It's called Chrysalismon in Japanese, and Chrysalismon makes
okay.
perfect sense and is easy to say. One of my least favorite things about the entire Digimon TCG is trying to pronounce that, and they keep printing it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 3 different versions of that card already, or 3 of those Digimon on cards. Kurisarimon, I don't know. Chrysalismon.
Yeah. Excellent. Right, he goes in. I've got another tie. And then we've got a Metal Gurumon. Have I had one of these already? Nice and shiny.
No, you haven't had one of those already. There's actually, it's because they've kind of amalgamated the first 3 sets into Booster 1.0 and 1.5. Like, there's 2 Metal Gurumon super rares in the set. There's a blue and a purple. That's one of them.
Nice.
That's a blue one.
Hopefully we will get a Chrysalismon sort of a revision at some point in the future. I know that so Magic the Gathering did a thing where they stopped having hounds at one point last core set update. They got rid of
that in your magazine article? Because I feel like I've read that, and I would only have read it in the magazine.
You would have, yeah, that'd be it. Yeah, they're the only things I know anymore as well.
What did hounds turn into?
Dogs. They call them dogs. They should have been dogs all along. But it's that thing of like, yes, we should have called it dogs at the start, but we called them hounds, and we finally owned up to it after some soul searching, which I quite like, because that's the thing about, like, you know, I know living card games is a trademark term, but card games do live, so the ability for them to change over time. Oh, this one looks cool. Is part of the charm. So I've got Mad Dog Fire, which is an option,
and
which is a draw option, and Sumamon, who is a black one. So I'm going to stick that in. Why not?
You're going to need to, because you might not pull 5 black level 2s out of the box. So you need all the black level 2s you can get.
Yeah. Is there particular weightings to what sort of stuff comes out of the boxes? You know, like, or between different colours? You know, or is everything pretty balanced?
So I think there is weighting in terms of cases. So I think if you bought a case, I've heard, and again, I've not done this myself. I don't be buying cases. I got kids, but I've heard that if you open a case, that you kind of get, you know, a better spread. Individual boxes, no. There's 7 super rares and 2 secret rares or alternate arts. Outside of that, like, there tends to be 1 Uppermon and 1 Gabumon. Like, the good rares, there tends to be 1 of them and no more. But that's not a hard and fast rule. It's more cool. You won't get more than 1, I suppose.
This guy looks great.
He's great. He's got Reboot, well, as an inheritable skill. So whoever digivolves from him will have Reboot. So you become active during your opponent's active phase as well as your own.
Excellent. And this guy looks cool as well. I think. See, these black Pokemon are clearly the ones Digimon, sorry, but are the ones I need to pick out. I need to dub that later.
See, Numamon, he's in. He's a 1-cost to Digivolve level 4. He's straight in. He's cheap.
Yes. That's it. Another Wanyamon?
I get called for my pronunciation all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
You got TK Takaishi and Flower Cannon. Flower Cannon's really good. It used to be like a staple in every green deck. It's fallen out of favor a little bit, but it's just a 2-cost card that suspends one of your opponent's Digimon. And like we said, you can only attack suspended Digimon. So you play that to suspend someone, and then you can just freely attack them. Because they come unsuspended at the beginning of their turn. So if you unsuspend them and do nothing, they just become unsuspended and you've wasted it. But you can unsuspend so that you can attack them.
Yes,
or you suspend a blocker so they're not able to block you or whatever, and it's a lot of fun.
That's great. That's great. See, I don't know if I've chosen right by going for the black ones here.
Well, you can rearrange this afterwards. You can change your mind, Chris. It's not too late.
I know. Tumon. That's not art, isn't it? that not
No, Tumon's just a weird art.
Okay.
But it stops your
Right, yeah.
opponent gaining memory without tamers. So there are certain decks that really, like, they play cards to get extra memory here and there. And Tumon's just like, no, you don't.
Oh, this guy's good. Mega Dramon?
Mega Dramon, it's just your standard vanilla Digimon. It's more powerful than it should be for the cost, but because it doesn't have any skills.
Hey, look. Got another one.
Another super. See, they're all coming out.
Yeah, there we go. Ah. Now, is this a nice one? I think this
That's
one looks
another
like a nice
super
one.
rare. That is your Seraphimon. I don't like it as much as the starter deck Seraphimon, but it's got recovery, which is one of the things that yellow cards do. They recover. So you've got 5 security cards, and when there's none left and you're attacked, you lose the game. What a lot of yellow cards can do is actually recover, which puts extra cards from your deck down as extra security cards. So you essentially can build up your security to get your opponent further away from winning the game.
Excellent.
Well, the hooks of
He
yellow.
looks great. He looks great.
He does. He really does. There's been a couple of them, and the artwork on both of them has been just phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with what they're doing. So, how do you play most of your games of Digimon these days?
Webcam. It's all about the web. Got my mate Rob. I like to do some webcam games with, and it literally is kind of like our setup here, except the cameras are pointing down.
Yeah.
And just play. And webcam, webcam tournaments, there's always kind of the worry that you've got less control than in a real life tournament. But the way the world is at the moment, get some webcams rolling and go.
Yeah.
And there's groups on Facebook people can join to get some games going.
Yes, that's a smart thing to do. Especially if you want to play against someone you don't already know, which is like half the fun of these card games. Infamon. Oh, there we go. Is that good?
That's another Diaboromon card. So that one, the skill basically lets you digivolve into Diaboromon more cheaply. Diaboromon's weird. It basically has this entire suite of cards from Keramon up to Infamon up to Diaboromon, which are literally just built to have a Diaboromon deck rolling.
I do apologise about the way I'm opening these packs for everyone, by the way. I'm sure
They're
there is
awkward to open, dude. They're weird.
Nicer way to do it. They are.
I'm so used to opening Pokemon, and these are weird.
How does Pokemon go? Is that a side swipe?
Pokemon, it depends. Like, you can just kind of pull them and they come apart, unless you're trying to preserve the pack for the artwork, in which case there's like a tiny little, like, you can just about tease them open sometimes, but there's a lot of skill involved in that. But they just rip down the back super easily if you're just opening them.
So this is another Keramon. Yes, that's the same guy, isn't it?
That's the same dude.
Joe Kiddo.
Oh, Joe Kiddo. I opened the box earlier. That is that's the alternate art tamer I got.
Nice.
He's all right. Doesn't see a huge amount of play, but their tamers are cool. Like I say, tamers are weirdly underplayed. When I kind of, when the first game's first coming out, you're not seeing games being played, you're not seeing whole decks. You see the first few tamers, and you're like, oh, every deck's gonna have like 8 tamers in. Yeah, they're not. Maybe 4 at the extreme end, but even then, tamers are just, they don't get the love.
It's interesting because they feel powerful. They feel like they should be powerful.
There's a few which we're not going to get until July that do look properly good. So I think they're going to be a bit more relevant in the future.
I've got a comment here from Heroic Mechanic about not being able to get hold of any.
Now, I mean, my advice to everybody on this, and I've said this a few times, if you can, and I know it sucks, but if you can, wait. Because Bandai have come out and said, we are printing more. And a lot of people will try and convince you that, it's going to be super rare and you're not going to be able to find any. You will be able to find them. Right? Metal Seedramon is a rare that looks like a super rare.
Yeah, it looks
but it is only actually a rare. It's just got amazing artwork.
Yeah.
That is not one of your 7 super rares. So essentially what's going to happen is over the next few months, Bandai are going to print as much as they can, and more stock is going to come in, and eventually the price will have to fall. I mean, like I was saying at the beginning, this is the base set. This is where Bandai hook people, and you have got to overprint the base set. If you don't, it's like all those magazines that are £2 for the first issue, and it's a massive waste of money. But if you hook enough people, it's worth it. You overprint the base set, because if you hook enough people, it's worth it. It's why set one of every card game is always the first one to go on sale, because they print too many, so they end up having to reduce it. But the pandemic has hurt supply. If you wait, this game will be available, and it will be like set one will come massively down in price if you are patient. So it sucks. It really sucks. But if you're patient, the game will come dramatically down in price. That's a secret rare, Chris. That's Vidramon.
This one, is that a good one?
It was. That old force Digimon deck I told. So essentially, right, there was a moment in time where the box toppers you pulled were amazing in an old force Digimon deck. And this dude was amazing in an old force Digimon deck. But we're not getting old force Digimon until booster 1.5, and it's already fallen out of favor.
Okay. Well, is it now? Are we going to see a comeback though? Could we have a comeback?
Anything can have a comeback with the right combination of cards printed. But again, like I have pulled 4 secret rares so far, and there are 3 different secret rares. But I have instead pulled 4 Metal Greymon. No Digimon, 4 Metal Greymon. Luck of the draw. Part of the thing with trading card games. Just weird.
Is there much of a market yet for Digimon cards? I know it's a very stupid question because I know the answer is definitely yes.
There is, but nobody really knows what to do with it.
Yeah.
So it's because the stock hasn't been out there. Everything. It takes a while for the prices to go down. And again, we even though the official release date is now here, we haven't got to the stage where stock is plentiful. And that's when we're going to know kind of the real market for them. But the game is popular enough. There is going to be a secondary market. And it's going to be pretty healthy.
Yeah. That's great. Okay. Raremon. This one's rare.
It is.
I can tell it's in its name.
It is a rare card and it is a rare mon. I don't know what I'm going to do if they ever print an uncommon rare mon, but hopefully that will never be an issue.
All sold out in the US. Yes, it is very sad. It is very sad.
It's not all sold out in the US, but it's quite difficult to get hold of at the moment. Like I say, it's even though we've hit the release date, we haven't hit the date where supply is coming in. It takes a while to reprint the cards, and I know people love spreading rumors that Bandai aren't going to. Like I've already explained, Bandai will print this set and they will keep printing it because it's hard to hook people with the 3rd or 4th set. You hook people with a base set, so they will keep printing it. I mean, what I would ask people, and it's a lot to ask when the supply is not out there, try and be patient. And if somebody's charging $250 for a box, just tell them no and wait until the supply picks up. And at some point it will. And my hope is that when it happens, all of these stores that are trying to scalp, and stores should not be trying to scalp, but all of these stores that are left sitting on product they can't sell. And then everybody goes, well, you were trying to price gouge when the supply was low, so I'm going to go over here to this other shop that didn't do that. And, we look after the stores that looked after us.
That's right.
Gotta love a bit of Giga Blaster. And Tiger, if you're playing that Rosteranimon deck I told you about, Tiger helps you, it gives you piercing. So if somebody tries to block you, so basically piercing means that if you attack a Digimon, you will also get to attack the stack rather than having to choose. And if somebody blocks you, you go through the blocker and then attack the stack. So piercing's really cool. But like my local game store, they sold out of Digimon pretty quickly, but they sold it for the recommended retail price. So my local game store, like in future sets, that's where I don't care if it's slightly cheaper online. I'm buying my future Digimon boxes from my local game store because they looked after me and hooked me up when supply wasn't there. So I'm going to keep giving them my business when it is.
I think that's the only thing we can do, really. And I mean, obviously, a lot of stores are suffering anyway.
Yeah.
Everything that's going on. So the one, just, going to support the good ones anyway, because they're the ones who are trying.
Oh, absolutely. And there are a lot. You hear all these stories. It's not all the local game stores. It really isn't. Local game stores are generally run by dudes who love games.
So I was just doing a small amount of moderation there.
Yeah, we've had our first spam message.
Excellent. Hey, we've made it to the big time, guys.
Woo!
See, that guy looks cool. I'm going to stick him in this purple pile. Oh, another Raremon. Oh, hello. Who's this? Gallantmon.
That is... Oh, Gallantmon. See, that is fitting, because that is the image on the front of the issue of Tabletop Gaming where you had the cover story about Digimon. So it's fitting that you would pull one.
Together again.
Cool little fact about that one. When that magazine came out and I was kind of sharing it in the Digimon group, people were delighted because the cover of your magazine gives a way better look at the artwork than the card does.
Oh, yes.
So, I put the cover of the magazine in the Facebook group and people were like, I didn't realize there were all those other Digimon kind of lining up behind him, following him. And people were loving it.
I'm not sure if people can see this on the stream, but you get this full view of everything going on in the background as well. This is on the subs cover in particular. So if you subscribe to the magazine, I'm not trying to sell the magazine. Obviously I am, but I'm not trying to sell your magazine right now. But subscribing to the magazine means you get cool covers like that. And then when you do have cool art like this, where there's stuff going on in the background, where you can really get close into it, because we strip everything back, you can kind of explore it in a much deeper way. That's why I think everyone should subscribe. Okay, we've got 2 packs left.
I do have a question. This is an important question that we need to know because people keep asking me and I don't have the answer. The 6 foil Digimon cards, are they going to be a subscriber bonus or is it going to be in all the magazines?
I believe it's going to be in all the magazines.
Oh, really?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, that's going to be popular.
Yeah. If people can get to the shops, that's going to be the main barrier. But yes, you of course can buy individual copies on the website. So if you just wanted that copy with the Digimon cards, we can sort you out direct there.
Well, assuming it is the promo pack, which I've got to assume it's the promo pack. Like, some people got it at a local game store, but not everyone could. Some people got it as a participation prize for the official webcam tournament, but not everybody could. There's a bunch of people out there that still haven't actually got their hands on the promo pack, so you might be getting some weird international orders. If it's in all the magazines, I think a bunch of people are going to be after that.
Yes, we've had some really good international response to this. I mean, this is a game that is truly breaking barriers for us in terms of the people we're talking to about it. So I've just had a question here. Is the magazine available in the US? Yes, in a few stores. You can get a few stores. You can buy online from us and we'll send you a copy. That's no problem. I think it's just slightly more expensive for postage, but that's because it's going further. So hopefully that works out. I think we do still have copies of the Digimon issue, which is issue, I believe it's 49. There we are. Issue 49, if you wanted to pick that up. And our website is tabletopgaming.co.uk for those who don't know. You just need to go to store subscriptions, that sort of thing, and you'll find your way there. But yes, it was when we put things on the cover, and this is sort of a bit inside of baseball, but we give people the option of how widely they want the free thing to be that they're popping on the cover, and sometimes people go for the smaller number of subscribers, some people go for the larger number of absolutely everyone, and Bandai thought they'd bloody go for it.
Bandai've got a few quid, you would think, at this stage.
Well, yeah, I think that, it's why they're fledgling organisation, aren't they? No, we're very, very pleased to work with them because it's just a cool thing. It's just a cool thing. It's because it. Oh, what I just.
There's a shiny. It might be a last shiny one, Chris. We need to savor this.
Okay, well, I'm going to get rid of this. So let's pause for a second, actually, and let's tease this out a little bit longer. One thing I like about each of these packs is. Am I going to get this wrong way around? Here we go. Here we go. Yes. I suppose we could have done it with that, couldn't we? This is how you play the game, everyone. You put two of these together because you and your buddy have both got packs. There you go. That's it. That's how you count your memory. Isn't that good?
Those are very cool. You get the kind of like one of those in each pack, so 2 packs, and you've got your memory gauge all sorted. You can use pen and paper, but where's the fun in that? And then, of course, you get the joy of trying to decide which of your nerdy little figures, because we've all got nerdy little figures lying around, which of your nerdy little figures is going to be the dude jumping around on the memory gauge.
That's it. I mean, obviously it should be some sort of digital object somehow that expresses the sort of data exchange that's going on. But I've almost always just used like a nice dice that I've got hanging around. You know, there we go, like that.
This dude, he's way too big. He is so big that it makes it confusing, and I don't even care because he's adorable.
I'm just going to blow you up there. Can we see a close up of that?
Oh, nobody wants a close up. That's my little Japanese beware, little giant red panda thing.
That's it.
It is so big. It's actually like you can make me small again now. It's actually inconveniently big to put on the memory gauge. But what am I going to do?
That's it. That's fine. I think it's loud. Okay, so we've got the Trump Sword. Is that good?
Trump Sword's quite nice. There are some cards coming later that will let you play that for free or for significantly lower cost. It's okay as a 7 cost. If you can play it a lot cheaper, it becomes a much better card.
Okay, so we think this might be my last shiny in the box, right?
I think it is. I've not been keeping count as well as I'd like to, but I think it's number 7.
Okay, here we go. So it's Magna
Angemon.
Angemon. Okay.
I mean, to be fair, it's got another one of those recovery skills that you've got to play it to get the skill, not because what often gets newer players are play skills and Digivolution skills. So play skills, you have to pay the 7 to play it as a play cost, whereas on Digivolution skills, you've got to Digivolve it from the previous level. But you get to put an extra security card down, and then you've got a level 5 Digimon ready to evolve up, and it's got quite a nice inheritable skill, so it's not one of my favourite cards, but one of the things I like about Digimon, because the 6 colours kind of keep separate, there are very few bad cards. So in some card games, there are a lot of cards in each set that are just never going to see any play. Whereas, especially at the moment where we've only got set 1.0, there are very few cards in the set that you can look at and be like, they're bad. Most of them, there is a reason to play them.
Yeah. And for me, I'm just going to say this. They're all beautiful, so they all need to be played, which is not the way to win a game. Okay, here's the last pack, and I've got a question here as well. What are your first impressions of the game? Do you think it can compete with the big 3? Now, the big 3: Magic the Gathering, Pokemon. What am I missing?
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Of course. I've got some of those around here somewhere as well. I mean, my first impressions are that like the Chrono Clash system, which this is based off, is really, really cool, and that it's been dying for like an IP to fill it with. It's really needed something as strong as Digimon to make it like viable, because the system has always been good. But I think this is like a strong enough IP with enough lining up with the collectible side as well as the obviously the battling side of it and the competitive side of it. So I think that for me, and I'm sure you were asking the expert rather than me, but I thought I'd get mine in first. For me, it's just right now is the ideal time to get into it, and so you should get on board now before it escapes your grasp and becomes complex, as every card game does. So everyone should get into it now, and I think it's going to have enough staying power for it to get complex on you, for it to get confusing for you later down the line. So for me, it's instant buy-in. Everyone should go buy it. That's it.
I mean, can it compete with a big three? No. And that's not anything bad on Digimon. It's a case of there is not going to be any game that is going to compete with a big three in the short term. Now, if we look medium to long term, then that is a whole different question, which is almost impossible to figure out. I mean, we saw Keyforge actually come in. ICV2, the website, they do this they're the only one I've found that do a really good top rankings of collectible games every 6 months. And Keyforge actually, in the hobby channel, not the mass channel, they actually popped into the top 3, and then they've fallen off quite a bit since, and that's not happening again, unfortunately. But I don't think anything is going to compete with the top 3, because these are all games that have been going for like 20 years and got a huge fan base. They are going nowhere. Could it be number 4? Yes. I mean, at the moment, in terms of TCG, Dragon Ball Super has been kind of flirting with that 4th position. And I think this has been off to a stronger start. I think it is a better designed game. And nothing against Dragon Ball Super. I love that game. But I think this is a better designed game. It's got a really strong IP behind it, although admittedly Dragon Ball does as well. And I do think, I mean, you look at the hype, you look at the size of the Facebook group, people talk about supply problems. And yes, there is an issue with supply because of the pandemic. But let's not hide the fact that this is an issue because everybody wants to buy it. These issues don't come around if the game isn't so ridiculously popular out of the gate. So, no, it's not going to compete with the top 3. There is not going to be any new TCG that will. And the idea is almost a little bit silly in the short term. Could it be a nice number 4? And it's not jumping. Nothing is jumping Pokemon or Magic. Nothing. No. But could it be number 4 and start, poking away at Yu-Gi-Oh a little bit? Because Yu-Gi-Oh is the perpetual number 3. I'm sorry if that sounds mean. But Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon and Magic are jumping back and forth for 1 and 2. Yu-Gi-Oh is the perpetual number 3. And 4th place poking at Yu-Gi-Oh, I absolutely think. I mean, I was saying to Chris before we started rolling, I have not seen a TCG with as strong a start or as much potential as Digimon. Closest we saw was Dragon Ball Super, and I think this is off to a better start with more potential than that.
I think it's a, as you say, really strong start, and I think we agree there's kind of like space for 10 trading card games of decent community size, something like that. So like that can really last out a few years. Those top 3 aren't going to move anywhere, as you say. But I think this has got a place in the years to come. Definitely, there's not going to be any surprise cancellations of this game. I don't think. I think it's got a really good start. And
I mean, you look at the way they're handling it in Japan, you look at the way they're handling it over here, they're taking it really seriously. They're investing in tournaments and tournament packs. They are keeping a nice kind of current release schedule. They're doing all the right things, little things like giving you, this promo pack to give away on the magazine. That is a better freebie than other, because obviously I've been following your magazine for a while now on trading card games. That is a better freebie than other new card games have been given away, except when Keyforge gave a whole Keyforge deck to subscribers. That was awesome.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's, I think the level of commitment from Bandai is really, really good. And I think that should give people heart. As you say, it's not like anyone can get it right now anyway. We need to be a little bit patient to actually get some more cards in our hands. Regardless. And what I'm doing here is I'm just sort of trying to sort these out to find the really pretty ones I've stupidly put back in this big pile, so that we can do we can have a little look at the main pools that we had.
While you do that, I'm going to answer this question. I'm going to just address what Ramen Rider said here, because I think this is a good point. Digimon is doing great, needs advertisements. They are actually advertising more than people realize. Over in Japan, they've been giving away promo cards with V-Jump magazine. Was it V-Jump? Another magazine, and Card Game, pretty big magazines over there. What they're doing with Tabletop Gaming with the promo cards next month, there's a really nice, pretty 2-page spread advert in the current issue of Tabletop Gaming. They're not doing the big in-your-face adverts, but they are making an effort to put the adverts out there in the channels where people who play card games are going to see them. And they're not doing the kind of giant adverts that you might see, Pokemon. There's the 2-page. I really like that 2-page advert.
Just again, another bit of inside baseball talk here. Because I'm the editor, I need to stay pure for this. I don't need to know what advertisers are doing all the time. I don't see the ads until we get to the final proof. You see, so I'm only vaguely aware of it. So I had the joyous surprise of opening the magazine on we get like a physical proof, and I got the joy of looking at it and going, "Wow, that's a good ad. Yes, they're supporting it. Yes, this is a proper thing. We're going in the right direction."
Yeah, I think the way they're doing it is really, really smart. Pokemon, you'll go on YouTube and you'll open up a video and there will be an advert for the new Pokemon TCG expansion, and it will be this big fancy CGI trailer, which clearly cost a lot of money both to make the little trailer and to get it onto YouTube at the beginning. But you're talking about a card game which has been going for, over 20 years and being hyper successful, and they've got the money behind it. Bandai doing that at this stage would be a huge, huge issue because they would be spending far too much money and they wouldn't make it back from sales. What they're doing is more grassroots and promo cards. And I think the way they're doing it is really clever. And, for those who don't know my background, I've taught business professionally for a decade and a half at this stage. And weirdly, was head of business in the town where Tabletop Gaming Magazine is made, which is a super weird coincidence. Yeah. But
I think you actually taught someone who works.
That does make sense. And it's this tiny little town. Like it's a weird coincidence. If you knew the town, you'd understand. But what they're doing is exactly what they should be doing. They are doing a fairly cheap way of targeting the people who are going to play the game. And they're releasing this kind of like a Digimon Fitbit. But they're, sliding a little promo card in while they do it. And that's going to pique people's interest. So I think the way they're going about it is a really, really clever way to do it. The MSRP, whatever $3.99 times 24 is, that is the MSRP of a booster box.
Yes, I actually don't know that number. I'm afraid I can't help us out with that.
But and I know, don't get me wrong, it's an issue, and I know it's a question I get a lot from people, because I cover the game so closely and all of that. I get a lot of comments, a lot of questions, and the only thing I can say is Bandai have told us they are actively increasing production, that they will keep, and they even said, we will keep printing to meet supply. I know it sucks, and we want the cards now, and I'm in the exact same boat as everybody else, but the supply will be out there, and what's going on at the moment is going to die down. It takes time to physically print and ship the cards, and that's an issue in the middle of a pandemic. It really is as simple as that. Oh,
that's absolutely right.
Sorry for the pronunciation. Has seen paid sponsor posts by the official Facebook page going around on Facebook. And the thing about Facebook is, my mum ain't seeing that advert on Facebook. But people who follow other card games, people who like Magic the Gathering, for instance, are probably seeing that pop up on their Facebook. So it's what you do when you're launching a new game like this. You don't come out of the gate spending millions of pounds on all of these huge adverts on YouTube, etc. You target specifically at the people who are going to pick up your game. And, from what they're doing, I have seen a bunch of trading card games launch in the past 3 or 4 years. And as someone who's really done an awful lot of research into business, I have not seen anyone do a better approach than Bandai are taking this.
I think I'm getting there. I think we're nearly at all the pretty ones that are definitely shiny.
Okay, so there's one. You're missing. I want to say there's a Magna Angemon you pulled. I think that's here. There's one super rare that isn't there. I think it's Magna Angemon. That's the one. Right, so there are your 7
there's also the alt art there, just for why not? Because I think that's a favourite card I've pulled, I think.
There is. Today. And there's the secret rare Vidramon, which is just
just here.
just to the top left under Seraphimon.
There we go.
There's your one. So there's your 7 super rares, 1 secret rare and 1 alternate art. They're your pulls, your money cards, so to speak, from your box. It's not terrible. You didn't get an Omnimon, which is sad.
No, I know. That's the one we're all looking for, isn't it? That is the one.
But Gallantmon's cool, Machine Demon's cool, War Greymon, Metal Garurumon, the alternate art Piedmon's amazing. Magna Rangemon and Garudamon are not the ones we'd all necessarily try and go for, but that's not a bad box there.
I think it's pretty good. Lovely.
I think you did all right.
I think I did all right, yeah. I suppose I have to sleeve these, don't I?
Yeah. Seeing you shuffling around without sleeves on, I'm going to be honest with you, it's... You know how like people don't like nails on a chalkboard?
Yeah, is it like
This is my nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah. Okay, I should stop these then. Okay.
They're your cards, man. No judgment here.
Yeah, well, no, there is, but we're just going to pretend there isn't. Excellent. Right. Well, I think that's pretty much it. I think we have to say thank you to Wossy for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a lot of fun. I like talking Digimon. I'm honest with you, so it was fun.
It's never going to be a issue to have you the hardship of having you chat about Digimon. It's never going to be a problem, is it? Yeah, no, it's very good. So I'm just checking I've not missed one here. I've got some rare mons, that's why I'm being confused. There we go. Apologies for the minor technical issues that we had at the start, but I think we're okay now. Big thanks to Wossy for coming here and educating myself. The chat is very well educated, so I won't actually suggest that they've been educated at all. But very sound advice there. Can we all just relax a bit and wait for the game to release a bit more? Lovely. Right. So I'm Chris. I'm the editor of Tabletop Game magazine, which you can get at tabletopgame.co.uk if you want to go get that. You can usually get it in like stores and things, but they're not always open at the moment. We have just had a follow, so thank you for that, whoever that was. I actually completely missed the announcement there, but thank you very much. Where can we find you, Wossy?
I mean, for Digimon stuff, youtube.com/Wossy Plays, because Wossy plays lots of games like Digimon. So yeah, there.
Yeah.
Or Twitter at the Wossy. Not at Wossy. At Wossy is Jonathan Ross, who is way more famous than me. And every so often, someone proper famous follows me on Twitter, realizes that I'm not Jonathan Ross, and then unfollows me, and it's a little bit sad.
Yeah, that's it. You should take that moment to slide into the DMs and ask them if they've got any Digimon cards that they'd like to trade. Excellent. Well, thank you for everyone who joined us. It's been good fun. I hope you've enjoyed what we're doing here, and we will see you all soon. I guess I'm going to put these. In sleeves now.
That would make me happy.
Yeah. I think I need to get some Digimon sleeves though, actually, because I've got these guys. I don't know. I've got some Dragon Gold ones here, Dragon Shield ones here. I'm not sure if they're up to scratch. These might not be the right shape, actually.
I like Dragon Shield. I'm a fan of Dragon Shield. In fact, the pen people might have been seeing me play with throughout the stream is actually a Dragon Shield pen. They sent me a pen. It was very nice to them.
I'm going to sleeve one of them just for those at home who worry about this sort of thing. There we go. Right, so yes, thank you everyone. Join us at tabletopgaming.co.uk when you can. Pick up the magazine, subscribe if you want those Digimon cards sent to your home, or buy an individual issue when it comes out at the end of the month. And if you enjoy hearing Wossy's voice, lovely as it is, if you'd like to hear more of it, he was one of our first guests on season 2 of the Tabletop Gaming magazine podcast, which you can get in all podcatching apps and websites and all that sort of thing. So search for us there, and you get a little bit more Wossy for your money. Okay. Well, thank you very much, and I'll see you all soon.